Hi everyone, we are here today with B.Beat for a further study. Today we will talk about some important features for live music as far as B.Beat is concerned. One of these is the metronome. As you know, the B.Beat, in addition to managing backing tracks, videos, shows and anything else we need for live music, has a function dedicated to the metronome, so we can use it with a real metronome that is very useful for our live performances. Here is the button dedicated to the metronome, and that's what gives us access to the dedicated page. Therefore, by pressing the metronome key, we enter the dedicated area, in the window through which we can manage the metronome section. From above, we see the BPM adjustment. Then let's see the choice of the metric, so we can define a musical metric, 4/4, 3/4, and other variations. The point of the second bit, so we can choose where we want to put the possible second bit. So we can have a bit on the first quarter and a bit on another quarter of your choice. We have the volume of the metronome that can be chosen at will. The double that practically allows you to double the metric. That is, if I have a 4/4, he makes me a metronome anyway with a double beat compared to the metric I have chosen. Then we have the possibility to choose the sound we want to manage for the metronome. There are several choices within the B.Beat archive. In this case, let's leave the official one, and then the output. So we choose the output that we want to dedicate to the metronome, and the possibility of having a light, therefore of having a flashing light. In this case, we activate it, so then it will be displayed. Okay, these are the various functions of the metronome. Once I have chosen the tempo, I can start the metronome. How do you hear a 124 BPM 4/4 without the double time? So it's very simple. In this case, it goes on and plays until I press stop. Otherwise, I can select the tap function, which gives me the option to choose a metric by hand. I choose my metric, and once that is done, he starts with the metronome according to the metric that I have chosen through the tap function. Here is the functionality of the metronome, which, as you already know, can also be inserted within the shows as a specific slot, thus inserting it in a real playlist. So if I don't have a backing track, I can play on a metronome. Another important feature of the B.Beat is the Live button. The Live key is a key that basically blocks the B.Beat keyboard. So when I'm playing, I can prevent accidents from happening, because maybe someone inadvertently presses a button. When I enter the Live function, any key that is pushed on the B.Beat does nothing. Asks for confirmation to exit Live functionality. Okay, the other thing we are going to see now are the various options of the B.Beat system menu. All the options that are used for the general setting of the B.Beat. Here we have the key that accesses the system menu system that gives me the possibility to see various setups. The first is the Options button, which has a whole host of things that we'll see next. This is the Network key, which manages all the B.Beat network functionality. It has various settings that tell me if B.Beat is connected with the network cable. It will tell me that I am connected, as you can see, with a network cable. If I were connected through the Wi-Fi, it would tell me that I am connected through the Wi-Fi, and so on. Then, the Mute Families is an important key because it allows me to create families. instrument families, track families, which you can refer to mute settings. So I can define a family of sounds for which a specific mute setting will apply, that I can manage with the B.Beat Manager or even with the B.Beat itself. Here is the information of the firmware version, the software version that are used, and all information about the software licenses. The options part includes the autoplay function that gives the possibility to do autoplay within the playlists. Auto hotspot, i.e. the creation of a closed network, i.e. the B.Beat is able to generate a closed Wi-Fi network, therefore not exposed to external networks, which I can enter, for example, with a tablet if I use the Prompter app. Then the various adjustments of the display brightness, the brightness of the keys, the time format, that allows me to choose if in the play page I want to display a countdown, that is, how much time is left until the end of the song in progress. Or in another case, I can choose instead of seeing how much time has elapsed, hence the duration. Then the settings related to the outs, then how the audio tracks are set as the audio tracks are automatically set to the outs. And here I can safely choose my preferences. For example, I can decide that the click track, that is automatically detected by B.Beat when I insert a backing track, and it realizes if a track is a click track, it manages always to send it to the same output. If I put it in the default, or if I baptize the track as a click track through the B.Beat Manager. Here, this is in summary all the part of the system options. Today we have made a very broad overview in these tutorials, explaining more or less all the features, at least the main features of the B.Beat, and of the software that manages it for repertoire settings, arrangement of playlists, shows, automatic click detection, and so on. Now the last thing to say is that in live control, B.Beat is a machine designed for use on stage, expressly by musicians who are engaged during the performance. Then to all those controls that are ergonomically designed to grant maximum simplicity. Among other things, there is also a pedal input. With the pedal you can do different operations, not only play and stop, but you can also go inside the playlist while it is playing. But for this I refer you to the manual where everything is explained in a very detailed way. For the moment, our tutorials end here. In the short term, therefore in a very short time, a first update of the B.Beat system will be released, with the possibility of automatically detecting the click, the possibility of downloading 8-track MTA files as we have shown. And then a version of the B.Beat Manager will be released which allows you to insert scores in PDF format and to sync them on the backing tracks for live viewing. Well, this is a first account of what are the possibilities of the B.Beat. Whenever there is an update, we will clearly make a tutorial to explain all the news and new features of this machine. Greetings from MLive.